Right guys, welcome back to the channel and to the next sit and paint. And today we are going to start a Harlequin Troop Master. This is one of my Harlequins. You've seen them in a few battle reports. I don't do diamonds on them. They're a little bit, I think, out of my painting league. So I try and do a nice simple colour scheme that ties in between my Eldar and Dark Eldar. And of course we'll also show you how to do the bases as well. So I've already prepped the Troop Master, ready to build, and I've already cleaned all of the parts up. Now, with this being plastic, I'm going to use Revel plastic glue. Now, you want to be careful with the plastic glue. It does melt the plastic if you get it out of where you need it to be. So, I'm just going to dab a couple of little bits on there, and then we'll glue the chest plate on first. Now the reason I've chosen to do the Troop Master is because I'm finishing off my Harlequin force. I've got one troop unit left to finish, so I figured why not do the Troop Master himself and show you how I paint them up. So I've used the long cape. I think the Troop Master deserves a cape over the rest of the Harlequins, and I've used quite a large chest plate there as well. Very flowing, big collar from the cloak there as well. For the legs do come in two separate halves, and again just a little bit of poly cement on there as well. Now I do apologise about the noise outside. It's a lovely day, so the window is open, and obviously the traffic driving past. And there we go, that's the legs put together. And the next stage is we're going to let that dry first of all, and then we'll magnetise the arms, and I'll show you why once we get there. But then for the head, I'm using this piece with the long flowing kind of mohawk, and then for the mask I'm using a very sinister looking face that I think the Troop Master would have. There's lots and lots of customization between the Harlequin box set, lots of different weapons, loads of different masks that you can put together as well. So let that dry and come back in a few moments. Right, so there we go, the chest plate, the face and the legs have had a chance to set, so we'll stick the head, the legs and the chest piece together now. So for the legs, just want to dab of glue in there, and I quite like the Harlequin legs because you can still get them with the long flowing tassels and the cloaks all at the same time. This one might take a little bit longer to dry because of the angle that it's at. Yeah. Wedge that in there. And then we've got the head as well. Like I said earlier, I do like the sinister look of some of the Troop Master masks that you can get. And like I said, I'm going to be magnetising the arms. There's a number of options for Harlequins that can take a range of different close combat weapons and shooting weapons. So for versatility, I will be magnetising the arms, and I'll show you why I'm choosing the weapons that I'm going to be putting on this guy when we get there. So there we go, that's the majority of him built, and already he's looking quite sinister indeed. So I'll let him dry for a few moments, and then we'll come back with magnetising. Right, so there we go guys, he's all glued up, looking very, very sinister there. So the next stage is to magnetise him. Now what I'm going to do is I've got a hand drill here. This is an Army Painter 1. The magnets I'm going to be using, because of the size of the arms, are 2mm by 1mm magnets. and this is a 2mm drill bit. So we're going to drill a hole right here in the front of the arm to be able to get a magnet in. We're going to do both arms, and we're going to do both parts of the body on the Troop Master. The idea is that when it's finished, the arms are all magnetized like this, guys. So let's get started. Now the reason I'm doing a caress for the Troop Master is because 6s to hit do an instant wound, and the Troop Master has more attacks, increasing your chances of getting that 6. Now when I drill here, I do apologise, my drill is a little bit squeaky, so I am sorry about that. And I say that and it doesn't squeak, always the way. So when you're drilling this, you don't want to go too far through, because you don't want to pop out the other side of the arm, but you do want the hole deep enough to get a magnet in there. And it's best just to keep taking the drill bit out, clean it off, have a look at the size of the hole and see if the magnet would fit. We're nearly there. I haven't gone out the other side yet, so we'll do the same with the shuriken pistol. The reason I'm going for the shuriken pistol is because Harlequins are quite expensive point wise anyway. The one to be in combat, it's not worth, in my opinion, paying the points to kit everybody out with fleshbane pistols or fusion pistols. So it's worth just taking your time, like I said, with this, and checking the hole, depth of it each time. That's nearly there. You don't want to push too hard, because like I said, you don't want to go through the other side of the arm. It's better just to lots and lots of small turns. And there we go, and that's probably deep enough. And the Troop Master, kind of want it right in the center, right where the join is there. Now you need to be careful, obviously I've let the glue set quite a while here, so that when I do drill it doesn't basically split the two halves of the chest plate apart. If you try and drill these separately, obviously it's not quite going to work. And I don't know what you guys have done to me drill, but it's not squeaking, which is great. So there's one hole. We'll do the other side now. There we go, the squeaking started. And there we go, both holes are drilled. Right, so now that we've got the magnets, these are the magnets I actually use. I got them from eBay, and you can see, well, there is one slightly different size one in there, but these are 2mm by 1mm magnets, and that's what I've sunk into the arms. Now what I'm doing is I am magnetizing the entire Harlequin force the same way around, so just to make sure that I find it easier that once I've done one, to leave the magnets attached like that, so I know that I'm definitely taking them from the right side. You don't want to glue them in back to front, because then that is a massive pain. Right, so these are the magnets I'm going to be using. I got these off eBay. These are 2 by 1mm magnets, and to make sure that I'm gluing the magnets the right way around to go the rest of the force, so that all the magnets and arms are interchangeable across the entire army. Once I've got one guy done, I stick the magnets there, so I take them from this end just so that we know that they're definitely the right way around. So what we're going to do is we need super glue for this next part. and you want to grab one magnet first of all. Now the easiest way I find to separate them, especially the small ones, is to essentially cut it off with a Stanley blade. So I've got one tiny one in there, and I know that the side that is touching the blade is the side I want on the outside of the Troop Master's shoulder blade. So I'm using Loctite super glue here. Just put a nice little glob in his shoulder, and then I'm basically gonna use the blade to put the magnet in place. Let the glue set for a second, and then slide the blade off. And it's as easy as that. So for the arm, again, I've cut a magnet off, but I've obviously had to move it to the other side this time, so that when we do put it in there, that the same side will of course be magnetized to the Troop Master's torso. And again, just use the knife blade to push it in and then wipe it off like that. So let's do the other two. I'm just gonna quickly grab another magnet, and what I'm doing, I should try and show you here actually, is literally just slice a magnet off at the end. You can see I picked it up on the blade there, but we need to make sure that it's the right way around for the opposite arm. So you can see there, that's the way around that it's going to need to go. So now that we know which way around it's going, we can get this one glued in as well. So just a drop of super glue, and like I said, using the corner of the blade just to sink the magnet in. Sometimes it might be a little bit difficult, and then slide it off, just like that. Right, so for the final magnet, again, I'm just going to make sure that these are the right way around. So there we go, we know which side that we're cutting the magnet from. So, slice it off there, and then I know that this end is going straight into the arm, like that. Take your time with the magnets. I can't stress enough how awkward it is if you glue a magnet in the wrong way around. I actually did my Dark Eldar Scourge entirely back to front. I glued all the arms in one way, I glued all the torsos in what I thought was the right way, and it turned out that it wasn't. So when I went to attach them, they were opposed, so I had to actually cut the Scourge bodies apart and refasten them back together. But there we go, that is, and there we go, perfect example. I've just done it. So yeah, that's going to now have to be fixed. So yeah, that's a perfect example of how not to magnetize. I've thought about cutting that out, but I'm going to leave it in just to show you how bad and daunting it can be. However, because the glue hadn't set, I have managed to pull the magnet back out with the knife. So I'm going to start that process again. Let's make sure that the magnet is attached there. So we know which way around it is now. And because I've scraped off that way, I know, or should technically be that way around. So let's try this again. And we'll check before that sets. There we go, definitely the right way around this time. So caress, and there we go. And obviously depending on what weapons you want, if you want to cut with the power sword or the storage sword, or if you want to give them a neuro disruptor or a fusion pistol, it's as easy as that. And like I said, it's interchangeable between the forces or the troops. So there's the one with the fusion pistol, want to give them the kiss. And there we go. So that's how I magnetize the troops. And I do this with all of the Harlequins that are in the force, apart from the fine cast ones. So there we go, that's stage 1 done. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, video 2 will start the painting process.